Pathways to Independence. Welcome to Learning Braille. You'll find that useful tool. Some of the things you can do with Braille are make labels that allow you to identify things, such as grocery items, write short notes and sentences, and keep contact names and phone numbers. With a little imagination, you may find other applications, like marking a deck of cards. If you are having trouble reading regular print, Braille will allow you to read and write without being limited by vision loss. What will be covered? There are different types of Braille. Here, you will learn about uncontracted Braille. Your counselor can tell you about more advanced Braille topics and how they're used. You'll learn to read and write the alphabet, numbers, and some punctuation symbols. The Braille cell. Braille letters, numbers, and punctuation symbols are represented by a series of raised dots in a 6-dot cell. Each character is represented by a different combination of those 6 dots within one cell. The 6-dot cell is organized in 2 vertical columns of 3 dots side by side. The dots in the leftmost column are assigned numbers 1, 2, 3 from the top to the bottom. The dots in the rightmost column are assigned numbers 4, 5, 6 from the top to the bottom. If you move your index finger across a page of Braille in a left to right direction, and you encounter a cell with all 6 dots raised, you would feel the leftmost column of 3 vertical dots first. If you then move your finger a little to the right, you would feel the second set of vertical dots. Adjacent cells in a row of Braille are separated by a space wide enough to recognize 2 cells that are side by side. Letters of the alphabet. Each letter of the alphabet is written within a single cell. Words are formed by writing letters in adjacent cells. All of the dot patterns covered here represent lowercase letters. We will find out how to capitalize letters later. Following are the dot patterns used for each letter that would appear in a Braille cell. A. Dot 1. B. Dots 1 and 2. C. Dots 1 and 4. D. Dots 1, 4, and 5. E. Dots 1 and 5. F. Dots 1, 2, and 4. G. Dots 1, 2, 4, and 5. H. Dots 1, 2, and 5. I. Dots 2 and 4. J. Dots 2, 4, and 5. K. Dots 1 and 3. L. Dots 1, 2, and 3. M. Dots 1, 3, and 4. N. Dots 1, 3, 4, and 5. O. Dots 1, 3, and 5. P. Dots 1, 2, 3, and 4. Q. Dots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. R. Dots 1, 2, 3, and 5. S. Dots 2, 3, and 4. T. Dots 2, 3, 4, and 5. U. Dots 1, 3, and 6. V. Dots 1, 2, 3, and 6. W. Dots 2, 4, 5, and 6. X. Dots 1, 3, 4, and 6. Y. Dots 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Z. Dots 1, 3, 5, and 6. Blank. No dots punched in the cell. Tips on learning your Braille alphabet. Learn Braille by dividing the letters into 3 groups. Letters A through J, letters K through T, and letters U through Z. You will be provided with a sheet of Braille paper with each group of letters double-spaced and written on a separate line. Practice moving the tip of your index finger from left to right, slowly across the page along the Braille line. Feel the dot pattern move underneath your finger. As you feel the pattern move under the pad of your index finger, try to recognize the dot pattern and say the letter out loud. You will want to be able to recognize the letters with both index fingers. So, alternate fingers as you practice. Practice a couple of times a day and repeat out loud the letters you are learning. Once you recognize the letters when they are double-spaced, practice reading them single-spaced with the characters right next to each other. You will be provided with a sheet of paper with the following lines of words, with each word separated by a space. Hide, face, jade, badge, talk, ripe, moan, risk, quit, hazy, avow, flax. Say the letters, and finally say the word. This will reinforce the letters, and you will learn to recognize where the words begin and end. Here are some tips to help associate some printed letters with the layout of the dots in the Braille letters. Letter D, dots 1, 4, and 5. Think about a capital D and how the top curves around and down to the right. Now, imagine the shape that dots 1, 4, and 5 make. The pattern feels like the top of a capital D. Letters E and I. Letter E, dots 1 and 5. Letter I, dots 2 and 4. Letters I and E are mirror images of one another. Letter E starts with dot 1. Letter I starts with dot 2. Remember that the letter E comes before the letter I in the alphabet, just as the number 1 comes before the number 2. Letter F, dots 1, 2, and 4. Think about a capital F. The dots form the top of the capital F. Letter G, dots 1, 2, 4, and 5. Think about a lowercase g. The 4 dots at the top of the cell make the top circle of a lowercase letter g. Letter H, dots 1, 2, and 5. These dots feel like the top part of a letter H, the straight line going up and the horizontal line going to the right. Letter J, dots 2, 4, and 5. The dots feel like they form a hook on the bottom of a letter J. Letters K through T are formed by repeating the dot patterns for letters A through J and adding dot 3 to each pattern. Additional tips follow. Letter L, dots 1, 2, and 3. The print letter L is a vertical line, which is how you write the Braille L. Letter O, dots 1, 3, and 5. You can think of the pattern 1, 3, 5 as forming one of the round sides of the print letter O. It is also made of all odd numbers. Letter R, dots 1, 2, 3, and 5. A lowercase print R has a vertical stroke down. Then it comes back up and goes to the right. Dots 1, 2, and 3 form the vertical stroke down, and then the horizontal stroke is formed by connecting dots 2 and 5. Letters S and T are the only letters in this group that do not start with dot 1. Letters U, V, X, Y, and Z are formed by adding dots 3 and 6 to the patterns for A, B, C, D, and E, respectively. Letter X, dots 1, 3, 4, and 6. The dots in all 4 corners are used. Think of people exiting out of a room in all 4 corners. Letter Y, dots 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Think of Y as, why not dot 2? Because dot 2 is the only dot that does not appear in this letter. Letter Z, dots 1, 3, 5, and 6. Associate the letter Z with the letter O. Think of Oz from The Wizard of Oz, because the letter Z is formed by adding dot 6 to the letter O. And then the new dot pattern looks something like a Z. Punctuation symbols in Braille. Following are some punctuation symbols. This is not a complete set of punctuation symbols in Braille. Your counselor can show you the remaining symbols when you are ready for them. Capitalization sign, dot 6. Comma, dot 2. Exclamation mark, dots 2, 3, and 5. Period, dots 2, 5, and 6. Question mark, dots 2, 3, and 6. Use these Braille symbols exactly the same way the equivalent print characters are used. The capitalization sign, dot 6, is written in the cell preceding the word. This capitalizes the first letter in the word. Use this to capitalize the first word in the sentence, or the first letter in a proper name. Example, Bob. Cell 1, dot 6, the capital sign. Cell 2, dots 1 and 2, the letter B. Cell 3, dots 1, 3, and 5, the letter O. Cell 4, dots 1 and 2, the letter B. The comma, dot 2, is used the same as in print and appears at the end of a word. Example, the word hello, putting a comma at the end of the word. Cell 1, dots 1, 2, 5, the letter H. Cell 2, dots 1 and 5, the letter E. Cell 3, dots 1, 2, and 3, the letter L. Cell 4, dots 1, 2, and 3, the letter L. Cell 5, dots 1, 3, and 5, the letter O. Cell 6, dot 2, the comma. The exclamation mark, dots 2, 3, and 5, is used the same as in print. Think of the word fire with the exclamation mark at the end of the word. The exclamation mark is written like the Braille symbol for the letter F, except that it appears in the lower part of the cell. Example, yes, exclamation point. Cell 1, dots 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, the letter Y. Cell 2, dots 1 and 5, the letter E. Cell 3, dots 2, 3, and 4, the letter S. Cell 4, dots 2, 3, and 5, the exclamation mark. The period, dots 2, 5, and 6, is used the same as in print. The period in print is written as a dot. Think of the dot starting with the letter D. The Braille symbol for the period is written like the letter D, except the dots appear in the lower part of the cell. Example, I am smart, will show the word smart with a period following it. Cell 1, dots 2, 3, and 4, the letter S. Cell 2, dots 1, 3, and 4, the letter M. Cell 3, dot 1, the letter A. Cell 4, dots 1, 2, 3, and 5, the letter R. Cell 5, dots 2, 3, 4, and 5, the letter T. Cell 6, dots 2, 5, and 6, the period. Now, a complete sentence, including spaces, a comma, and a period. Example sentence, I ran, comma, and he jumped, period. Cell 1, dot 6, the capital sign. Cell 2, dots 2 and 4, the letter I. Cell 3, blank, a space. Cell 4, dots 1, 2, 3, and 5, the letter R. Cell 5, dot 1, the letter A. Cell 6, dots 1, 3, 4, and 5, the letter N. Cell 7, dot 2, the comma. Cell 8, blank, a space. Cell 9, dot 1, the letter A. Cell 10, dots 1, 3, 4, and 5, the letter N. Cell 11, dots 1, 4, and 5, the letter D. Cell 12, blank, a space. Cell 13, dots 1, 2, and 5, the letter H. Cell 14, dots 1 and 5, the letter E. Cell 15, blank, a space. Cell 16, dots 2, 4, and 5, the letter J. Cell 17, dots 1, 3, and 6, the letter U. Cell 18, dots 1, 3, and 4, the letter M. Cell 19, dots 1, 2, 3, and 4, the letter P. Cell 20, dots 1 and 5, the letter E. Cell 21, dots 1, 4, and 5, the letter D. Cell 22, dots 2, 5, and 6, the period. Writing Braille. The slate and stylus are the tools used to write Braille. The slate has two rectangular pieces of plastic or metal joined by a hinge to allow the slate to be open and closed. One rectangular piece contains template cells, often 28 per line with 4 lines of cells. The other piece is solid and is the back of the slate. When the slate is closed around a piece of Braille paper, this back piece stops the stylus point when you push it into the paper. To load paper into the slate, place a piece of paper on the back piece so that the top edge of the paper is even with the top edge of the slate. The left side of the piece of paper will rest in the hinge of the slate. Close it, and the 4 pins in the corners will snap, securing the paper in the slate. With your slate loaded and on the table, hold the slate with your non-writing hand to stabilize it. With your stylus in your writing hand, start at the top rightmost cell. The start of a line on the slate is always the rightmost cell on that line. Move the tip of the stylus around inside a cell on the slate. Both sides of the cell are curved and indicate the position of each of the 6 dots. Practice moving the tip around inside the cell. To move to the next cell, gently slide the stylus tip to the left inside edge of the cell. Maintain contact between the stylus tip and the cell edge, and slide the stylus tip over this until it falls into the next cell. As your right hand approaches your left hand, move your left hand to the left to allow room for your right hand to work within the cells. Use the curved sides in the new cell to locate the dots you need to punch. Use this technique to move across all the cells on the line you are writing on. When you get to the end of the first line of Braille, move down to the start of the next line on the slate by moving your left hand down until you feel the cells on the next line. Follow the cells back to the right to the beginning of the next line and insert the stylus into the rightmost cell. On most slates, you will find a ridge between the second and third lines. Just keep moving your hand down the slate until you go past this ridge and find the third line of Braille cells. The above description assumes that you are right-handed. If you are left-handed, check with your counselor for any changes that may be necessary in the method. When writing Braille with the slate, the numbering of the dots within the slate cell are a mirror image of how they are for reading Braille. When reading in a left to right direction on the page, dots 1, 2, and 3 are on the left side of the cell, and dots 4, 5, and 6 are on the right side of the cell. When writing, dots 1, 2, and 3 are on the right side of the cell, and 4, 5, and 6 are on the left side of the cell. Use the same dots you learned for the letters, and punch in 1, 2, and 3 on the right, and 4, 5, and 6 on the left. When you turn the paper over and read the Braille character, it will read from left to right. Prove this by writing hide. Then, Turn the page over to see that it reads correctly. Once all lines of Braille cells on your slate are filled, open the slate and remove the paper from the pins. Move the slate down the back side of the paper. The top pins on the slate should be put through the holes on the paper, previously made by the bottom pins of the slate. Now, close the slate. You will hear the bottom pins of the slate push through the paper as the slate closes. The slate is now locked in place and has been moved down the page past the lines just written. You are now ready to write a new set of lines. All the tips in the world will not be any substitute for practice. Practice half the time with reading and half the time with writing. Numbers in Braille. Once you know your alphabet, you know your numbers. The numbers 1 through 0 are formed with the same dot patterns you use to form the letters A through J. The number sign. The number sign must precede the character used for the number. The number sign indicates that the characters that follow it are numbers. If you don't find the number sign, the characters you encounter will be treated as alphabet. The number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. The numbers 1 through 0 are written as follows. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 1 is dot 1, same as letter A. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 2 is dots 1 and 2, same as letter B. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 3 is dots 1 and 4, same as letter C. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 4 is dots 1, 4, and 5, same as letter D. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 5 is dots 1 and 5, same as letter E. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 6 is dots 1, 2, and 4, same as letter F. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 7 is dots 1, 2, 4, and 5, same as letter G. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 8 is dots 1, 2, and 5, same as letter H. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 9 is dots 2 and 4, same as letter I. Number sign, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 0 is dots 2, 4, and 5, same as letter J. Example 1. Write the number 345. Cell 1, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6, the number sign. Cell 2, dots 1 and 4, the number 3. Cell 3, dots 1, 4, and 5, the number 4. Cell 4, dots 1 and 5, the number 5. Example 2. Write the number 52. Cell 1, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6, the number sign. Cell 2, dots 1 and 5, the number 5. Cell 3, dots 1 and 2, the number 2. Example 3. Write the number 750. Cell 1, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6, the number sign. Cell 2, dots 1, 2, 4, and 5, the number 7. Cell 3, dots 1 and 5, the number 5. Cell 4, dots 2, 4, and 5, the number 0. When writing a number in a sentence, follow the last character of a number with a space, which indicates that the number is complete, and any characters that follow the space will be letters. Example, write 1 car. Cell 1, dots 3, 4, 5, and 6, the number sign. Cell 2, dot 1, the number 1. Cell 3, blank, a space. This ends the number. Cell 4, dots 1 and 4, the letter C. Cell 5, dot 1, the letter A, cell 6, dots 1, 2, 3, and 5, the letter R. In conclusion, we hope that you will explore Braille and practice it. Written by Michael Joles. Volunteers: Barbara Lose, Brad Lose. Narrated by Shane Burrish. Producer: Kent Taylor, Taylor Productions. Production Coordinator: Deanna Jesse, Program Specialist for Older Blind Services. Pathways to Independence, a production of the Nebraska Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired, www.ncbvi.ne.gov.